Good afternoon. I just wanted to jump on really quick and just kind of wanted to share something that I have actually been thinking about for a few days. So I've been looking at how everybody is kind of responding to number one, we have tax season that is in pretty much in full swing, and we have a lot of controversy with politics, and we have just a lot of stuff going on. So, for those of you that don't know me, I am Leslie Leondis with Next Path Coaching, where we help accountants, bookkeepers, and tax pros actually build their ideal business. And what I mean by ideal is means that they run the business instead of the business running them. So, but what I wanted to talk about today is actually how to actually build a business that you love, because I have been seeing so much on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and so many places about how people don't seem to have the right clients. And why is that? Why are we taking the clients that don't serve us? And that's the biggest thing, because I mean, I've seen so many people, and what it does when we are serving the wrong people, it puts us in this negative headspace and it makes everything negative. But when you're serving the right people at the right price, out with the right service, it makes all the difference in the world. But one thing that I've noticed, I moved I guess about a year and a half ago, and I live like in in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. It's about 30 miles outside of College Station. But I literally remove myself from the news, and I keep up with tax stuff through reputable sources, the IRS and the tax, the CPA societies and the NATP. But I don't let the media influence how I'm feeling, because I really never noticed how much it does actually impact me. And the reason why I feel like talking about this today is yesterday in our leadership group, they were talking about growth and how they have grown over the years and things that have happened to them because they were in this container of growth and they were with growth minded people. And it goes back to John Maxwell, who is like one of the number one leadership coaches that talks about leadership all the time, is when you're in a growth container, you're going to grow and you're going to change and you're going to develop. But if you're not in that growth container and you stay in this negativity, that's where you're going to stay. So I know there's people that want to change their business, but they're afraid because, you know, the IRS, they're laying off all kinds of people with the IRS. You can't control that. So why are you letting it affect you? And yes, it might affect the way you do tax returns, but your real problem is not necessarily the IRS. The real problem is pricing. And you can tell, I can sit there and speak that until I am blue in the face. 99% of what's wrong with your business is pricing. But people say, I can't hire. I don't have the right clients. I don't have the right number of clients. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's all the expenses and all this. But all that comes down to is pricing. And the reason I know this is because I've had thousands of conversations with accountants, and I have not found one yet that is correctly priced, because you're not taking into account so much stuff in either your hourly rate and your fixed pricing, or if you're value pricing, you're still underpriced. And the thing is, a lot of it is because we don't actually look at our own books, or we don't actually do our own books, is what I have found. So how can you correctly price and correctly staff if none of that is done? That's what we tell our clients to do, but we don't take our own advice. Or we have price sensitive clients that are always arguing about their price and they're the ones that are driving you crazy, but you still continue because you live in a scarcity mindset that comes back to everything that's going on in the world. But there are clients out there that want to have a relationship with an accountant, bookkeeper, or tax professional that actually has that relationship with them. And I'm not talking about the ones that, yes, we have people that just drop off their tax information, but they also still want a phone call or they still want to have that communication. But the problem is a lot of people have so many clients that they're inundated and they cannot take the time to have relationships. And when you can't have time to have relationships, that's when you're an expense. But if you actually have relationships with your clients and you actually provide quality service and you actually provide valuable information, that is where the magic happens in your business. But the problem is, most people in this industry are scared to make changes like that. And I don't know why, because I made changes like that in my business 10 years ago, and it was the best freaking thing I've ever done. Was it easy? No. Was it hard? Absolutely. But it was well worth it because number one, I get to change people's lives every single day. Number two, I get to change my team's life every single day. I get to invest in my team. I get to grow my team. I get to work with a high quality team every single day. But then there's this misconception that people don't want to work. That is not true. People don't leave businesses, they leave people. So if you're having a never ending cycle of turnover, there's a reason for it. And there's so many strategies that can figure out what that reason is. And I would be glad to help you figure that out because that's what we do. We help people figure out what is wrong in their business and how to fix it. And it's not by taking these big, huge leaps. It's about taking little bitty steps, a little bit at a time. So I promise you, you can have the ideal business that you want, but you got to start here in making the decision that you do want it. And I urge you that this is the ideal time to do it. And the reason why that I say this is the right time, because this is when all crap hits the fan. In first quarter, all crap hits the fan because by second quarter, you're over it. And it wasn't that bad. And then by third quarter, you're in it again with all the extensions. So I'm going to give you an example because we still have an active accounting and tax firm. And as I was working on some of my client files today, there was some stuff that we had a process problem in. So I stopped and I'm like, hey, these are process problems. They're not my team's problem. The client had a little change, so we needed to adjust the process a little bit. So I went to their task that we have to fix year-end processes and said, hey, we need to add this. But that was the key because in 2 months, I'm not going to remember because I'm over it because there's a lot of things going on. So, but that's why it's ideal time. And sometimes these are not things that you think about to do. And then I had another client on her one-to-one. She was like, I've got too much stuff to do. I need to hire a high level person. I'm like, why do you need to hire a high level person? And she's like, because I need another me. And I'm like, no, you don't need another you. You need to quit doing admin work because she was doing all the admin work. And the person that was supposed to help her with taxes was also doing admin work. We identified she needed to hire an admin, not a full-time admin, but a very part-time admin. She wrote out by seeing whatever she was doing and her team member was doing, she wrote out that job description of what she needed. And she found a very part-time person to take that off her plate and take that off the tax preparer's plate. Because for those of you that have teams, I guarantee you they're doing a lot of admin work. So that's why this is the ideal time to look at that. And working with a coach that is actually in this industry, I cannot tell you how valuable That is. I wish I would have had it when I was trying to figure it out because it probably wouldn't have taken me near as long. And I have clients that are telling me how much less they're working this tax season because of the stuff that they implemented last tax season. So if you want just to have a consultation, there no strings attached to see where you're at and see where if we can help you, comment below help and we'll reach out to you and see what is going on in your business. Because and I know that there's a lot of people saying I can coach and I can do all this stuff. You'll be able to tell from that conversation if we know what we're talking about. You probably could tell from this live if I know what I'm talking about. So make sure if you need help and you want help that you ask for it. There's no shame in asking for help because that was one of the best things I've done for my business is by hiring coaches and getting people to help move my business where I wanted to go. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments. If you want help, comment help below, and I will see you soon. Have a great rest of your day.